Well, welcome to the museum. We've got a demonstration on another way that you can make fuel from water. It's a very simple method. That's what impresses me so much about it. It's a simple way to go about it. It doesn't take a lot of sophisticated equipment to do this. You can use any voltage source that's between 30 and 50 volts. I've got 3 garden batteries, garden tractor type batteries that are in series, so that's 36 volts. You could use a small arc welder as your power source. You could use a battery charger if you've got a substantial battery charger that would put out, for an industrial type battery charger, puts out 36 volts, would also work. You take the voltage and you bring it up to 2 carbon rods. The carbon rods are immersed in water. I've got an inverted funnel, and when the arc strikes, it creates this fuel. Now, a lot of people confuse this with electrolysis. You will actually have a little bit of electrolysis until I get to the point where I strike the arc. But that's not where the fuel really comes from, and that's not what makes this fuel special. The carbon is part of the process in forming the fuel. The 10,000 degree arc reacts with the water, disassociates it into its components, which are mostly hydrogen and carbon monoxide. Now, carbon monoxide, when you say that, that kind of scares people. They think, well, that's poisonous, it's going to hurt you. But that's in the fuel before it's burned, and that's one of the things that makes this fuel so special, is it's actually providing a lot of its own oxygen in the combustion process from that carbon monoxide. Once the combustion's taken place, then what's left over as a byproduct is excess oxygen. So this is actually one of the cleanest hydrocarbon fuels when it's burned that we know of. Matter of fact, you could start a car on this fuel and let it run in here forever, and it would only just add more oxygen to the room. If we did that with a normal car, we'd be dead in a short time from carbon monoxide poisoning. If you had a furnace that operated on this, you wouldn't even need a flue. You could just let the excess oxygen go into the house and enrich the atmosphere of the home. I'm going to have to get my arc adjusted, though. That's the hardest part about this, is getting the arc adjusted. Anybody with just a minimum amount of technical expertise and just a few simple components can prove to themselves that this works and make their own fuel anytime they want to make it. So we appreciate you coming and visiting with us, and hope this has been informative.
Hello and welcome to the Kentucky Water Fuel Museum. I'm James Roby, curator of the museum. In 1996, an interview was conducted with Herman Pleasant Anderson, the water fuel inventor who converted this 1971 Ford LTD to run on water in the early 1980s. Dr. Cliff Ricketts, professor of agriculture at Middle Tennessee State University, is the man conducting the interview, along with his associates. Dr. Ricketts and some of his students have been running cars on hydrogen from water for over 15 years, using solar electric panels to provide the electricity, to perform the electrolysis on the water that is then stored in tanks and used on a vehicle. The video is of very poor quality, but the information contained in it is priceless, and I hope you enjoy it.
And tell us what's inside that little round box, that generator over there again. Explain that to us.
Yeah, well, I was explaining it.
Yeah, but we didn't get you on tape, though.
Yeah. See, I've got the cathode and anode. I've got that plated there. See, inside of it, it's a soft iron core. See, inside of both anode and the cathode. See, I do that for the reason because I'm getting my magnetics right to it. See. It's very important if you're going to make this hydrogen pass, that you do that. See. And of course, you got to have your cathode and anode separated just at the right place here, because if you don't, and making it pass that way, and without the divider down in there, see, you can't use the divider down in there. You got to use it up above. See. You get a certain proximity here, see, and if you get it too close, you'll create a magnetic storm in here, and it won't do anything. It'll just blow around like a tornado, see. See, if you could see in that, I had generators that I could see in the sides and see exactly what it was doing, see, and I could get my proximity just right, see. You won't, because you're charging these anodes now, you see, with this high voltage, see, and you charge it them.
Now, is the high voltage hitting inside that generator?
Magnetically, and it's passing this electricity, see, and making this deuterium in there. You want it, you magnetic just right. On your cathode, you got a negative electrode there, see, and on your anode, that's a positive electrode, see. Well, you're splitting this hydrogen over on your anode side, see, into oxygen and hydrogen. That's where you split it, see. And then your hydrogen ions go through your electrolytic or the electrolyte over to the cathode side, see. Well, in order for that to do it fast, see, you got to make this. These cathodes and anodes, the electrodes, you got to turn them into like a magnet, see. And then your positive, magnet, see, your positive pole, this is just like a magnet now, with poles. Your positive pole, see, and your hydrogen ion is positive, and this over on your anode side, that's positive. Well, what does positive and positive do? It pushes it off, see? And that pushes this hydrogen ion really fast, see? Really fast through this electrolyte, and gets it over there on the, and then they on the cathode side, that's negative, and that just pulls this. These hydrogen ions in there, just pulls it into to the cathode, see, and there is where you catalyze the hydrogen. See, they're in ions there, see, over there, and make a molecule of glass. See, H2. You see, they're catalyzed right on your cathode to form your hydrogen gas. See, but in the process, going over from your anode to your cathode, see, you come in with your radiolysis process there, see. You're changing these hydrogen ions, see. You're doubling your atomic weight, and you're doubling your energy, and you're doubling your power, you're doubling everything, see. And you're doubling your mass density, see.
Critical.
And that's what gives you your power, yeah. Yeah. And it's all done just instantly, like that, automatic. And see, when it gets over, on the cathode side, it's already into the deuterium now. You get what I mean?
Didn't you say hydrogen comes out of here?
Yeah. This just turns the hydrogen into a hydrogen isotope. See, just another form of hydrogen, like heavy water. You know how you make heavy water? You know, for the nuclear bombs and everything. That's what you're doing right here. You're making heavy water. Yeah, but you got to use insulation or shielding. You see, and where you got these two cores. I got a Maori cores. They go on the race cars, and they hooked them together. See, 35,000. What you use in race cars. And I got two of them. That gave me 70,000 volts. To change this hydrogen into deuterium, see, they're standing wave frequency in between a microwave and a hard X-ray, which is called soft X-ray. See, to get it into that. Now, if you had more going up that you'd be changing it more into hard X-rays. See, and you don't want to do that. See, it's very important to get that 70,000 volts in.
What are you calling soft X-ray?
The frequency in between microwaves and hard X-rays. That's a salt casing. Excellent. And that's a 7.5 cycle per second.
This valve over here increases pressure going to the engine.
No, it doesn't do that. It gives the engine what it's demanding, see, and it just saves hydrogen, see. Otherwise, it would be pushing this, with this type of carburetor, it would be pushing this hydrogen and a deuterium right through the carburetor and be wasting it like if you were standing sitting there at a red light, see, and just making that hydrogen, see, over here, and push in here to a certain pressure there, see, it just gives, when you feed it, step on the accelerator, see, and demand more hydrogen to run your engine, accelerate the engine up, see, well, this will give it whatever it needs, see.
Okay, that is a propane demand.
That's a propane demand. Now, this stuff, it was hard to get, see, I had to get that pressure valve out of Minnesota.
Is that where the pressure increases right over there? Is that it? Is that the pressure increase?
That keeps the pressure from getting too high, see. Generating, yeah. If they get pressure, it keeps making this hydrogen, see, in that generator. And if you're not using it, it'll keep on making. If you don't have a device like that, it'll keep on making it and blow this up. It just cuts this system off from your battery, see, through a solenoid over here. See, you're using this as you're making it. This is the system here. That you got a little factor right here.
Okay. See? This gauge right there.
Oh yeah, that's just pressure gauge. That's all. There is the thing over here. Now, it'd be hard to get. It'd be hard for you to get one of these. I got that out of California. You can mix this. I use this with gasoline for about 2 years before I ever started on the hydrogen. Mix it with it works. He gives you about 4 or 5 miles of the extra gallon. I was mixing the water with the gas.
Oh, the water.
No, okay. And I was getting about 4 to 5 miles extra miles on my gasoline. I knew one of those that we used on the P-51, see, and I knew all about that. I knew what that would do, see. And that has an impenger in there, and that's forward. Now they've built a bunch of these things that they never did work. Ford Motor Company, General Motors built them, put them on Cadillacs, and never did work because it blew up. Well, this Robert Billings, he has one. See, injectors in there. None of that stuff worked because they didn't put it into a fog. See, they just put it into a spray, and that's no good. That puts it out. See, it's like throwing water on fire. Well, that fogs it in there. It's got an impenger in there. See, and it brings this water in there and breaks it up in little drops. Then it impinges it. Gets this plate in there, and that breaks it up into a fog. See. And that mixes perfectly with your hydrogen then, see. And it raises the mass density, and it doesn't keep it from firing and burning. It just burns perfectly.
Now, here's the $64,000 question. I asked you this before, and I want to ask it now. We're on tape. In my opinion, this is one of the greatest discoveries of mankind.
I think so.
Why hadn't it moved forward?
Why is it what?
Why hadn't it got past you? Does people not believe you? Or why hadn't you done any more with it? I don't understand why you parked a car that's running this great with this great technology.
Well, it's not going to work with the general public.
Now explain it to me now.
I thought I'd already explained that. You got to be an engineer. You got to be a nuclear physics to keep this thing running.
Why? Explain that to us.
Well, you got all this radiation there. You got to keep your pH factor up on that, you see, to make your hydrogen and then your deuterium. And you got to be an electronics engineer and a nuclear physics. Well, there's so many different things that you see. You've got a little factory on the hood, you see. And it's just like a man working on a factory. You got engineers in there, you got different people that do different things, and you got to be it all, see? You got to do it all. The driver, it's up to him to get it all going, see, and keep it going, see?
Now, I don't know how a computer works either.
And the general public, everything is convenience now. They're not going to fool around here and look for water, everything. They going somewhere in a hurry. They want it. They want everything under there and going. They don't want to have to fool with it. They will not fool with it. That pH will last you for 6 months, see. And then you got to put some more in, see.
How much?
Better than an oil change.
Yeah. How much that you said you used potassium hydroxide?
Potassium hydroxide. Yeah.
Pour it in that cap right
Yeah.
there,
You
right?
pour it right in that cap.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you just monitoring the pH?
Yeah.
You set your pH for 12. What'd you say? 12.
12.
12. Okay.
I just did this enough to this to show that it would work. See? And there's a lot of things that you would need on here. See, you could use on here. You could use a condenser. See. And condense the exhaust and reuse the water, see? You could do that, see? I don't have that on there. But see, Billy's, he's got a patent on that, I showed you. Every time, you got to set this system up for the size engine you have.
Okay.
For the cubic inch engine you have. Now this is a 302.
Okay.
All right. You have one in this hydrogen carburetor, propane carburetor, what I use, see? But it works good for hydrogen, see? No, you see, I have to turn this upside down to keep from making a hole in my hood here. I had to get an adapter. Otherwise, I would have just set that right on top of the carburetor, but it would have stuck up through the hood. And I didn't want that, so I happened to find an adapter, and I turned the carburetor upside down. It don't make any difference like that, see, using that. But you're not going to have the room, and like changing a new car, the government wouldn't let you use this, see. These people right here wouldn't let you use it. You see, you got to get approved by these people right here, like I did, to get out on the road with it. It ain't going to do you no good sitting in your garage. This is electronic. It's not, it doesn't put out radioactive.
Okay.
What kind of rays are we talking about? Alpha rays, gamma rays, beta rays? What kind of radiation would you get if you were standing around it and it was operating and you weren't on the shielded side of it?
You get EMF.
EMF waves. Well, that comes off a high tension wire too.
That same thing comes off high tension.
Oh no, that's not that dangerous.
The hell it's not.
Really?
Red blood cells on the hell.
Oh really? That wouldn't be good. You get AIDS or something that way.
That much voltage, 70,000 volts. We're using 22 ounces. It's going to take you 22 ounces to change it. But it all does when you try to change it into deuterium, it only takes 11 milliohms. 11 milliohms.
See, even if this were possible, the government wouldn't want it because there's no way to tax it. You have to make the hydrogen. You have to make the hydrogen in a fuel cell and have it distributed at a gas station and have an inventory control on it so they can have a tax base, or else it's not going to go.
You say, that's another thing. See, I should have told you. What about the taxes on this? And I'll let you drive this car on the road and pay no taxes on the fuel.
Let me ask you this question.
The state's not going to do that. The government either.
Do you personally feel safe with it?
Oh yeah, I do.
So you're saying,
I feel safe. Yeah.
so you're saying
I've got this car
the government won't let you do it because of their perceived danger.
That's right.
But you're not worried about it personally.
No.
Obviously, you wouldn't be as healthy as you are all the time you spend around it.
That's right.
Have you done anything inside to the engine?
No.
Inside of it, no, the going through.
Okay.
No.
So this is really
All I've done is change the climate on it. For the house.
just a timing. And you used a basic propane carburation system, gaseous system. Explain to me that process right there again now.
Well, your radiolysis
Radiolysis, okay.
you know, it works off of a high voltage system. See?
Okay.
70,000 volts on a 12 volt system.
Okay.
We'll do it, see. And you change that radiation. It's electronic radiation, see.
Okay.
Using electrons, see.
Okay.
Into a standing wave system there, see. It's like what you use to get cold fusion, see. A standing wave is a continuous wave, see. If you get the oscillations there just right, and the frequency just right, a standing wave frequency will continue to operate. It's just like through a lead crystal. See, radio waves coming through a lead crystal. Well, in that lead crystal, you set up a wavelength there of a standing wave, see, and that's why you can take a crystal radio and amplify the current coming in there without any battery, see, because you got a standing wave system. And the same thing applies here, see. You're setting up a standing wave system there, and it runs right through you from your anode to your cathode, see. And the fact of the matter is, pushing these hydrogen ions, it just pushes them right over there to the cathode and speeds up your time, speeds up your production of hydrogen, see.
So really, except for that one piece that you give away, all the component parts are here.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, it works. You feel good about it.
Yeah.
But one, the government wouldn't let it happen because of taxes and safety, and the general public wouldn't use it because it was just it's just too complicated and could not be saved if something went wrong.
That's right.
Just like that little pressure valve, if it didn't work, it could blow to thunder, right?
Blow it up.
That makes sense to me.
It works.
All right, now let me review this process. We have to use to ionize our ozonated water. It's under pressurized system with solenoid valves and pressure gauges and so forth.
Yeah.
It goes into your specially designed generator electrolysis unit, which uses the cathode and anode. Somewhere during the process, when it goes from the anode to the cathode, you add radiolysis.
That's right.
Which is a process that then makes that hydrogen into deuterium.
You call that the wires in there. You call that the corona wire.
Corona wire.
You know about corona tubes. You use these corona tubes in making the ozone. Well, and that, it's something similar to a corona tube.
You have electrical field, basically.
You see, it's your high voltage discharge in there that does it. And that reverses the spin moment on every other one of your hydrogen ions, see, and draws it in to the nucleus of the atom. I've got 59 years of experience working with cosmic rays and ions alone, see, and I specialized in ionics, see, and I coined the term for ionics, see. And I started that 59 years ago. And all my years of experience, if I hadn't had that, I couldn't have done this. Yeah, but I didn't intend to drive it at first. But it got to working to do it and everything. I just kept driving it. This thing was about 15 years old when I put it on it. He doesn't only want a wet bubble with it. I don't think you see, that's the reason I recycle this. And I kept the temperature down. See, this stuff gets hot. It's hot in here. And if you get over 180 degrees, it's going to boil you. You're like right under it. It's going to become volatile. And this going out through your hydrogen system. And you're going to lose it. And you're going to have to put it on. It'll run your engine. Yeah. If you do all that, see, and the wet bubbles and everything, and you got to keep those down, to keep those out of your system here, see. And then you do that by putting pressure up here, see, and then putting a certain amount, you put 8 ounces of pressure on it, and that'll keep these bubbles pressed down, see, and they'll come out through this side, that hole right there, and come right up through this standpipe here, and then right back down underneath there, right back into the system. And that is also cooling this and keeping that down below 180 degrees, because to keep it becoming bald and keeping your wet bubbles, if you don't, they'll just boil up there, and if you don't keep the pressure on, and they'll get right in your hydrogen system, and they'll ruin everything.
Yeah, if it churns up and gets too hot, it starts to create foam.
Oh, yeah.
And it gets up in that hose.
Oh, you get up in this hole, you're going to run everything.
It's like pouring sugar in a gas tank, basically.
That's right, that's right. Oh, you're going to have all kinds of problems.
Anything else you want to tell us about this engine? We've got about 5 minutes.
The silicon in there to keep that, just like a water bubble, you get that fluid in there, and it's all hot. Now that may need to be added in there. This thing may be leaking all over, or you just have to almost build another. And you can have all kind of problems with this. You could run into it.
Space to put another one in there, huh?
And, you got to take that one out and build another one, or rebuild them.
Let me ask you this.
See, all this is experimental and temporary. This wasn't made to put on the market. I didn't intend to keep driving it. All I wanted to do is just to prove this would work. See? And I kept on getting the bugs out there. I built 30 of these before I got money that would do this. At least 30 of them. All sides. I had to experiment. No, this car is going in a museum.